In this episode of Talking Business, I linked up with Dannesh. Dannesh is the founder of Silky Socks. Whew. In this episode, we talked about so many good things. You got to listen in. We talked about how his business grew and exploded last year. We talked about life. We talked about abundance. It's an amazing episode. Sit back, listen up, and let's get into it. Hey, welcome to another episode of Talking Business. I got a special friend with me today, Dannesh. All right, so we're going to learn a little bit more about Dannesh, learn about his story. He's got a super cool story. I'm excited. Hey, Dannesh, welcome to the podcast. What's going on?
Thanks for having me, Gavin. Appreciate it.
Yeah, yeah, man. So we linked up in Dallas for a little bit, and I got to learn about you, and I was like, whoa, I have to get this guy on the podcast. Let's start with a little bit about you, who you are, what your company is, and what you do.
Okay, for sure. Well, my name is Dannesh Kassamali. I'm the founder of Silky Socks. So Silky Socks now is one of the premium suppliers for blank sublimation apparel, accessory items like socks, multiple kinds of socks. Then built on that, added arm sleeves and leg sleeves. Building on that, added headbands like ninja headbands, yoga headbands, basic headbands, all sublimatable. Then
Yeah,
2020 COVID hit, and I was like, let me add face masks. And then we added face masks. That just blew up. Multiple kinds of face masks, kids, adults, different color backs, all sublimatable. Then after that, I was like, what more could I do? Maybe, like that broke me out of my comfort zone of limiting myself to just socks, as they
yeah,
say, right? And
yeah,
that really 2020 just pushed me like into a new place. And after the face mask took off, I was like, what else can I do? Then we went for boxers, men's boxers. Then I was like, what else can I do? Then we went for
yeah.
ladies' underwear. We released thongs and boy shorts and bikini style underwears that ladies can sublimate. Then I was like, what else can I do? And I did sports bras, and you know, uh, it's just crazy because I started choosing different items along the body part that I
Yeah.
could hit with a nice innovative product that's sublimation friendly top to bottom, that's engineered for sublimation, with sublimation in mind. Because even when I started this company, I realized that a lot of people just find stuff they can sublimate but those things aren't necessarily engineered for sublimation. So
Gotcha.
then my niche became, let me engineer products, apparel products, just for sublimation, starting with socks, and then more kind of socks, and trying to make them the best premium wearable and printable. And that kind of became a nice little niche for me. And
Nice.
that's what Silky Socks has specialized in, and what people now see us today as.
That's awesome, man. So we're gonna get into that a little bit more if you're so gracious to do so. But before we get into that, I actually, because like a lot of entrepreneurs end up doing what they're doing, but like as a kid, we didn't dream about owning a business that would do socks or t-shirts. Like, how did you end up in this socks sublimation situation?
Yeah, no doubt. As a kid, I wanted to be in the NBA, like all no doubt. Hoop dreams, basketball, if it wasn't
Yeah,
that, maybe professional football player, wrestler, I don't know, something, right? We all want to be superstars. But then you reach a place where, for me, it was like, all right, let me go to college, let me get a degree. I wanted to work for a bank or something, a major corporation, finance.
yeah.
Uh, but in 2009, when I graduated, that finance industry was kind of beat
Oh
up.
yeah.
So I went into business. I went to work for my dad as a salesman for him. And then as I was working with him, I launched a t-shirt printing thing on the side. And that was in 2009. And that's a great story, but I want to fast forward to more of the birth of Silky Socks.
Okay.
So I was a t-shirt print broker for about 10 years, 2009 to 2019. But 2 to 3 years into it, before Silky Socks launched, I was like, I had this urge to do something new and different and unique in the industry. I was like, okay, I'm in this apparel industry. I go to the ISS shows. I go to, I'm learning about DTG, screen printing, sublimation, heat transfer, vinyl. Now, the only thing I was offering was screen print t-shirt services, right? And
Gotcha.
so then I was like, I don't want to do this forever, because at the end of the day, I started hearing whispers and I started internalizing them and actually feeling them, that like, you're just another screen printer. Uh,
Gotcha.
you know,
Okay, okay.
people would call me for quotes, and then they'd call 10 other shops, Gavin, within 5 minutes, within
Yeah.
10 minutes, and they'd get 10 other quotes, and they'd be within a 2 mile radius, 5 mile radius of, and it bothered me. Like, I was like, dang, like, it's just run of the mill, price competitive, cheap. How cheap can you go? How fast can you do it? Of course, companies, I'm not knocking on screen printing with great service and holding true to your price. But for me at that time, it was eating me up. Like, I got to find something different.
Yeah.
How can I be different? How can I launch a brand? So that seed was planted in my mind, right? And I was also traveling to China annually, once or twice a year, and I was sourcing products from there for certain clients.
Oh,
So
okay. For screen printing.
yeah, not necessarily
Okay.
for screen printing, but some of my screen print customers needed custom hoodies, custom hats, custom socks,
Mm.
custom custom apparel items that they were willing to buy in the thousands. And so I went to China to a couple trade shows and met some
Got it.
factories, and without even the knowledge of doing all this, but then it came in handy because I started importing stuff for clients. So I had that going, plus I was a t-shirt broker.
Was talking about that whole China situation. That was interesting, right? I don't think we should just like gloss over that because I think that's a major thing. Like, why would somebody just get up and go to China? Like, what was in your mind? What? Because to me, that's a huge step. In your story there, you talked about this China trip and China situation. I think that's like one of those big moments, right? Because that opens up your mind, it opens up your horizon or whatever. Like, how did that happen? Let's not like gloss over that.
So somebody told me, hey, there's a convention that goes down called the Canton Fair. You should check it out. I literally was like, that sounds dope. I'm gonna do that, without
All right.
knowing anybody, without having didn't have any orders to send to them. I just wanted to check it out. I'm a big traveler, traveled a lot
Nice.
before launching the company, and I had nothing to lose. I just said, let me go. So I visited the trade show, met a ton of vendors, got a bunch of connections, and I came back. And then I ended up using some of those connections. And then I went to the show again and again and again. So I
Let's
came
go.
back, tested the sublimation onto the socks that we were supplying that client, and just for a test. And oh my God, the print came out so vibrant that I was like, oh my God, we have to do this. It was like a aha moment. I was like, this material just takes the print so perfectly on the leg part, and the foot was cotton, athletic cotton material, just super comfy. And that's where we came out. The idea of the black foot, white top sublimation sock was born right there. So engineered that sock, launched this company called Silky Socks. My first company was called Silk Screen Apparel. So I just said, what if I kept the name Silk? So Silk Screen Apparel, silkysocks.com. Boom, right? So then Silk Screen Apparel was still the main business. Silky Socks was growing small. Like first year, 2013, we did like 10,000 in revenue on our website. Second year was like 20,000, then gradual. Fast forward, now doing seven figures as a business. And I canceled Silkscreen Apparel, stopped doing that because we got way too busy with Silky Socks, especially in 2020. So gradually I was taking less orders for that business. But then in 2020, I completely stopped taking orders because I told all my previous customers, like, hey, I'm sorry, we're no longer doing that. We're fully focused on our Silky Socks side of the business.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the story in a nutshell, in a quick version. But I do want to give you guys one struggle or thing I had to overcome to launch Silky Socks.
Yeah, please do. Please do.
So when I came out with that first blank sock of the Blackfoot white top, and I was starting to print socks for other people, other businesses, my original client in the silkscreen apparel side of things, whom I supplied socks to them and hoodies and t-shirts and hats and all that. That was my biggest silkscreen apparel account. Like at that time, silkscreen apparel was doing about 300K in revenue as an entire business. And that client was responsible for 100 grand of that business. He was my big fish client.
Mm-hmm.
He looked at us launching Silky Socks and was like, no, you can't do that. You can't do socks for other people because you do our socks. We don't want you to do that. And it was kind of one of those competitive situations where they're like, no, if you start making socks for everyone else, now the socks you supply us aren't unique and different. I can, serve you guys, continue to serve you guys, but I'm going to just do the Silky Socks thing as well. And they were like, no, not with that sock because it's too similar to our sock, they were saying. And we supplied them with that sock anyway, but it had their logo knitted on it and all that. We wanted to create a unique sublimation blank sock, right? So they had a big problem with that, all the way till they put me in an ultimatum: stop doing your own socks, or we're done doing business with you. And that was a tough moment because I had to walk away from my biggest account, $100,000 account, and just walk on faith that Silky Socks will work out. And I chose Silky Socks, and I told him, hey, I'm sorry you feel that way, but I have to continue with Silky Socks. And he was like, okay, I'm done with you. Never no more business after that. And I just had to keep it moving and be okay with that. So that was one of those defining moments.
Wow, that is tough. And the risk to think about it, because the business wasn't what it is now. It was mainly a new startup. And that was, oh man, that's crazy. Thank you for sharing that. Look, so I think I actually, before I met you, I actually met you online, right?
Okay.
And I'm not sure if you remember at what was at Dallas, you said, I think you was talking to somebody and you said something, I'm the guy from Silky Socks. And I was like, Silky Socks? I received the email this morning from you.
Yeah, you got our email blast. Yeah.
Exactly. I say that to say, I noticed your social media game is like very, very strong. Your YouTube game is strong. Your Instagram is strong. Like, how'd you build that muscle to get where you are right now? Where you're like, because for a lot of us, it is a struggle with this like social media thing.
Yeah, I look at it as what's the most valuable task or job I can do right now as the business owner. How can I bring the most value to the marketplace and to my business and to myself? And so to be from the beginning, there was very few times that I would make socks and pack orders and ship orders. I always tried to delegate that and hire people for that, always. And sometimes, yes, there was times where everyone quit, nobody showed up, and I had to do a lot of the work myself. But that was always a temporary thing. It was always, let me just fill this and put the ad out to hire the next person, And
Gotcha.
even with my emails, like answering emails and phone calls, I always tried to have an admin for that because she or he, whoever's at the desk, can focus better while I'm making videos and reach more people. So there was a time where, one admin was gone and I had to answer all the emails and phone calls myself. But again, that was temporary until I found the next admin. So I always said I shouldn't be doing a $15 an hour job or a $10 an hour job. Because if I sit there and press socks all day, guess what? I'm telling my company that I'm only worth $15 an hour.
Gotcha.
That's a hard one for even to me to say, because I know thousands of our customers out there are doing it themselves, and much love and success to you. Don't feel down about that. But for me, with Silky Socks and trying to grow it to a certain level, I needed to put someone on the press to do the production, put someone on the computer to do the admin. So I said those jobs can be taught and better done if I'm not doing them. And then I could keep making videos, keep reaching people. So I focus on that, the videos and the reach, plus product development. I'm the best man to make new products because I'm, Silky Socks, I understand the ins and outs of the sublimation, the technology, the the factory, the knitting, what it's going to take to get the product developed, approved, and to market. So I continue to do that job. But then who's the best man to make those videos then, right? The guy who created the products. So if Dannesh created the products and Dannesh then it makes a video explaining the product, boom, like that's really valuable.
Gotcha.
So that's where the it's a strategic move. It's not an accident. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
Yeah.
But were you ever at
Now,
a point like, oh man, like, because a lot of people, and when I say a lot of people, I'm talking about this guy, a lot of people getting in front of the camera is a big, like a big challenge, right? Was that something that you had to deal with, or that just came naturally?
that was a challenge. The decision to do that came in 2018, 19. So it took me 5 years to realize that, hey, I should be in front of this camera, because early on I was behind the scenes. If you look back, like my pictures and my phone would be full of socks and shoes and other influencers. Now it's funny, you look at my recent pictures from the last 2 or 3 years and it's a bunch of selfies and you know, it's like, I realized, like, if you look at my phone lately in the last 2 or 3 years, it's a bunch of pictures of me, selfies with my products, videos of me. Whereas before it was just pictures of like socks and shoes and other influencers and other basketball celebrities. And that only took me so far. When I committed, and it took some practice. The first 2 or 3 videos weren't that dope. 10th, 20th one were super dope, you know, like 20 maybe 20 YouTube videos until I really was like, vibing. I'm now the camera comes on and I'm just like, hey guys, Dannesh Kassamali here, founder of Silky Socks, and I'm smiling, I'm upbeat. Yeah, so it was just that elevated strategy of I'm the best person for this job. But now I recently hired a video editor and a content creator here in-house. I want them to pump out more content without me, just kind of with my vision and instruction, but where they're making stuff, putting music behind it and posting it on TikTok and kind of, you know, so it happens in stages. Like, I was willing to be the face of the brand, and I still am, but I'm also recognizing the need for more and more and more tutorials and content and videos across all these platforms. So now I'm bringing in help to do that. So I'm not sitting there and just doing it all myself and feeling stressed out, you know?
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, man. So we had an in-person conversation while we was in Dallas, right? And this in-person conversation, you kept saying this word and it stuck in my mind, right? And I think that's one of the words I see you use a lot. Honestly, I don't think that way as much. I'm starting to train myself to think that way. But you kept saying abundance, right? Abundance, abundance, abundance. And so talk about that and like how you position your mind and yourself for, like, for example, your business kind of blew up last year, right? Or the year before. And you said you was ready for that. And it was a lot because of this mindset that you had. Let's talk about that and what that's all about.
Yeah, I started listening to a lot of Jim Rohn and Bob Proctor, and they call them the Millionaire Tapes. And you listen to them over and over and over and over again. And I would literally go to sleep with my AirPods on, listening to these millionaire tapes, they call them, like Earl Nightingale, Bob Proctor, the Think and Grow Rich mentality. And a lot of it was just abundance. Like and then I started doing this, like, there's so much abundance out there. If you drive through any city, you'll see buildings and houses and real estate and roads and windows and, you know, skyscrapers, and, you know, all that costs money. Like, everything
Yes.
there's so much money just being splurged everywhere, right? So,
Yeah.
you know, I just said, why can't Dannesh Kassamali and Silky Socks attract abundance? Why can't we sell to thousands and thousands, maybe millions of customers worldwide? If the answer is we're not good enough, then that our products aren't good enough, then let's make better products. If the answer is we're not making enough videos, let's make more videos. If one of the answers was we didn't have our own Facebook group, so we created our own Facebook group. Shout out to Sublimation with Silky Socks. The Sharks love you guys. So I just said, you know, Dannesh, stop limiting yourself. Like, stop thinking success is for others, and success is for everybody. As Bob Proctor says, abundance is our birthright. Like, no matter how much successful I am, Gavin, that doesn't limit your success. For example,
Yeah.
it adds to it. And just understanding those things, like we come from a competitive upbringing, like, compete with the other guy, beat them, basketball, one-on-one, compete. And I think there's something there that we don't realize is it's not a zero-sum game. You don't have to compete with anyone. Like, you're just attracting, therefore competing with yourself to become more valuable. And that means make great products, reach more people, put out a good, vibrant energy, create a good internal organization, internal business. And anything that I'm lacking, I need to change it, and everything from a bad apple at the company. Hey, instead of living with that problem, let me change that person now, and that's a hard thing to do, but I've had to do it a few times, take out one person, wait for the next person to come in. And, bad sometimes, so a product might not be as powerful as you want it. So now it's like, okay, put it on clearance and re-engineer it, make a new product. Like, it's okay. Like, we don't have to be stuck where we're at. Like, you could keep innovating, keep creating, and go as far as really, like, you can attract and you want to go. So that's kind of where the mindset came in. And then once we started making face masks and it just started hitting, I was like, no limit, keep going. And I probably went a little crazy. I think I ordered like 2-3 million face masks.
Really?
Yeah. And then I still have probably 300,000-500,000 maybe units in inventory. I was a little nervous because I had like another 1,000,000 units, but we put a bunch on kind of clearance and close out and kind of offed them pretty nicely. So still have a good amount of stock, but nothing like crazy where it was like, oh my God, I have way too much of this, So now we're manageable now, but those are active moves I had to make, right? And take risk. So I do have 3 takeaways that I wrote down that I wanted to give to everybody today. Yeah. Okay. One is take risk. But what I want to say is financially sound risk means you don't have to bet the whole company. So if you have $10,000, let's say, this is just an example, it's smart and strategic and good to risk 2,000 into new product, new equipment, new business, new marketing, risk that 2,000, risk that 20%, maybe 25%. That's a wise, intelligent risk, because if it fails or if it only brings back a portion, you're still financially sound where you can keep building. But now it's probably not smart to just bet the whole company and risk everything you got. So, and Jeff Bezos from Amazon talks about this: risk after risk after risk after risk, but not bet the company risk, manageable risks. So Silky Socks continues to take risk by innovating a new product. Every new product I create, I have to buy 10, 20, 30,000 units, but I don't necessarily just say, I'm going to spend everything I got and get 1 million and blow up. Like, no, that would be a little foolish, because if that product doesn't hit well, then I probably tied up all my cash,
Yeah.
So no risk it, no biscuit. If you want the biscuit, you got to risk it. So make those smart bets. So that's point 2 is block out the noise, block out the judgment of others' opinions, the fear. Even consuming too much on social media is a lot of noise. So that's a big one for me. I turn off my notifications for Facebook, Instagram, every major app. I have my notifications off. I don't really get news notifications. That's my way to block out the noise. I encourage all of you guys to find your way to block out the noise where you're not looking at too many other people's things, because if you're always looking at other people's things, it stifles your creativity to come up with your own stuff, and it does something to you. And then there's also noise of, you have internal voices like, oh my God, what does she think of me? What does my friends think? What does my family think? I got to prove to the world, blah, 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 blah. Nah, like, just go in a quiet place and block out that and just do you from the inside out, and I found that to be successful. Then,
my dude, you are like, because, as an entrepreneur, like, a lot of the things that you say right now are like vibing through my brain every day, right? That's the life of an entrepreneur. And I want to touch up on the thing that you said about abundance, right? So I think that is like should not be slept on at all. Cause like, well, at least a lot of the people that I know that are just like starting out in business, you know, a lot of time they're from maybe like, let's say rough environment, right? Let's say they're from the hood, or let's say they're from a country that's not as plentiful as the US. That like determine how your mindset is at. Like your mindset is like that Socrates mindset, like where you want to just hog what you got, the little that you got, and you don't want to risk it. But at the same time, you are limiting like this whole thing that's out there. There is crazy amount of money out there. It is so crazy. All you have to do is like solve one little thing, and all this money is yours, right? And this
Absolutely.
thing, a perfect example about blocking things out. So I started this new startup, and I knew in my mind, I was like, social media is crazy. I literally took close to 4 months off social media. I didn't say one thing. Like I disconnected, uninstalled the account because I knew I need like clarity of mind. Like in order for like me to go down and do something that is like deep, you can't have other people in your mind while you trying to like examine your mind at the same time. You know what I mean? Yeah, man.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So
Like, I'm not perfect, but what I try to do is spend that alone time in the morning or in the afternoon every day if I can. And, like sometimes I wake up slightly too late and my daughter is all up in my face already and I don't get that alone time. Those days are like, dang, dude, like, but if for her and I do get that quiet alone time, it's almost, I read last night that that's that time you're connecting with God, that inner where you quiet everything down. And God created you to win out here. He didn't create us to lose out here, but we got to connect with that source energy and find
yeah,
it. And then that's powerful. And then the other thing I do is coffee shops. I try to go to coffee shops alone almost every afternoon. And yeah, that's my quiet place. The place is buzzing, but I'll have my headphones on, or I'll just listen to the music, and I won't necessarily meet friends there and people there. So I could just do my thing, have my coffee, write down my notes, journal, write down my ideas. They say if you spend time taking ideas from your own mind, it's how powerful the brain is. So we just
yeah,
have to trust it and spend time with it and follow our own ideas. And that brings me to my point number 3, if I may.
yeah, definitely.
Okay, so this point is innovate, don't copy. Innovate, don't copy. Like when you're creating something, think, how can I make this product better? Can I do something here? Can I improve on this product with better function or better quality? So when I created the first Silky Socks blank for sublimation, there was already 1 or 2 sublimation blank socks in the market. A copycat would just copy that sock and try to make it cheaper. That is a very baseline way of doing business. An innovator puts his mind into the product and says, how can I improve this? Then once you put your own creativity and change that product for your own like benefit and for your customers' benefit, now you have something that the world, like you said, now you created something a little different, a little better, and now the whole world might come after it, and that's your abundance coming. So every product we do, we try to innovate and create it. Like, for example, the boxers, the sublimation boxers, we tried to make a perfectly nice, good quality, lay it down flat, press it, do the other side, press it, and wearable, printable, comfortable, elite quality boxer. And that's what we're going for. And then if it passes those tests, then we release it and we know that we've innovated. But I want to add to this, if I look at too many other people and I look at too many other social media accounts, I can't help but just feel that urge to copy them or compete with them or do what they're doing. And honestly, like, you got to find your own groove. And if you can limit that to maybe 10 minutes of scrolling at a time, or 15 minutes a day, 20 minutes a day, like, find a limit to that, so that way you can have time for yourself and your own creativity. Because if I spend hours looking at other people, like, I lose from my own idea pot.
That's awesome, man. Thank you so much for sharing that. So check this out. So I went to your social media. Maybe I went there. And then I noticed that you are into basketball. Like you're heavy basketball, like heavy into basketball. I played a
For
little
sure.
basketball. What do you think? You think you could beat me in basketball? What do you think?
Man. He said, "Let me go competitive on you." I think I got a pretty good jump shot, Gavin. It's gonna be hard for you to stay on me. Like if you give me just a little bit of room, and if I create some separation, it's going in. So I think it's gonna be tough for you to keep up with me on the one-on-ones. But we'll see. You're a big dude, and I know I'm gonna have to bring my A game.
So, so next time if we see in person, we're playing ball. We're recording this, and this is going on social media, right?
Oh man, I guess Gavin didn't hear anything I said about it. He's like, "Let's compete. I'm gonna beat you, Mr. Silky." Hey,
No,
hey,
no.
Mr. Silky's ready though. I love basketball. I have so much fun with it, But the Silky Socks brand actually used to be heavy basketball designs and basketball influencers and basketball events, and like it was like a direct to consumer basketball sock brand for many years of the beginning of the company, and blanks and customs was just an icing on the cake. But eventually blanks became the cake, and now the basketball designs are still there, little icing on the cake, little extra thing. But yeah, so my love for basketball is definitely a passion from a young age to now. And
Nice.
I'm a really good shooter though. I can make a lot of threes and stuff. So you'll definitely have to guard up on me.
Yeah. One thing about basketball, person that talks the most, that's the person you should whatever. So that's how you.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
So all right. So
did you play growing up?
I played a little bit, then some health issue got in the way. But yeah, I played a little bit.
And how tall are you?
I'm about 6'2" and 3/4. Don't leave out the 3/4.
You're about 6'3", and I'm about 5'8" ish. So it'll be a fun video on social media, that's for sure.
All right. So check this out. So I'll be talking to the audience for a second here. I've been working on this project. So I'm mainly going to be telling the audience about this project I've been working on, so you guys can know, right? So for a long time, I was a screen printing shop owner. So I actually ran a screen printing shop for 6 years. Something that started from home with a heat press. We grew a manual screen printing shop, and then we picked up an auto. And then last year, I sold the business, right? And when I sold the business, during my whole situation with screen printing, I struggled with one thing, and that thing was handling artwork and design, like production artwork and design. It was a major, major struggle. And a lot of screen printing friends I spoke to, they was telling me that they was having this problem. So I set out to solve this problem, and I challenged myself to do that. So we created this brand that's called Steps.io. Steps.io is solving this exact problem, helping screen printers save time, make more money by taking away this headache for artwork. So we're doing vectors, we're doing proofs, we're doing mock-ups, we're doing color separation. All this is packaged up, and you pay a monthly flat fee, and we give you a nice portal that you can use to submit all the orders. So Steps.io, go check that out. That's the website. Hit me up if you want to get a free demo, and I could set you up on a free account. Steps.io. Go check it out.
Let's get it.
Yeah. So what is next with you, man? I know you are working on a couple new products. Like what's exciting? What's exciting that's coming up?
Yeah. So one thing is I got a new content creator here, Kevin. So kind of training him up to be able to put out daily like TikToks and Instagram videos of tutorials and stuff like that. So more of stuff, YouTube shorts. Our Silky Socks YouTube channel is getting very active with YouTube shorts, plus the main YouTube tutorials. So you'll see more content from us in terms of sublimation education and sublimation energy, knowledge, and good vibes. We made a song called Flip, Switch, and Roll. That was pretty funny. So I'll have to post that again if you missed that. But the other thing, I just approved ladies' leggings. So that's in a couple months, we'll have those like yoga pants kind of style leggings for ladies. They're going to love that. What else? We just approved long length premium boxers. So those are like our men's boxers, but they're going to be longer in length, kind of like that PSD Ethica underwear length, like close to where if you pull up your shorts as a basketball player, you'll be able to see the boxers under there. So people are really excited for those. I'm still working on the t-shirt development, so we'll see how that goes. Once I finalize that, then I'll be approving it. Then a couple months we'll have that. Kids, infant socks, so infant baby socks. That's something new. People are excited about that. So, the innovations continue, the risks continue, and everything I talked about in this podcast, I'm definitely doing and keeping that energy going. So that's what it is. But check out silkysocks.com. Set up a wholesale account there so you can get 50% off all your blanks. Check out Sublimation with Silky Socks, our Facebook community. Join in there to get more of this energy and learn from our customers and watch what they're creating and share your Silky Socks creations. And follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Let's get it.
That's awesome. So screen printing shop owners, you guys could use them as well. Screen printing, this is open to decoration professionals, right?
Right. Yeah. So if you're a screen printer, you can actually buy blank socks and sublimation transfers from our website. And then you can make those socks at your shop with just your heat press. So you buy the jigs from us, the socks from us, and the sublimation transfers, and boom, you're in the game. Or if you just wanted to get the jigs and the blanks and you have your own sublimation printer, of course, or you can get your own sublimation transfers. You just need your heat press and you're good to go.
Cool. That's awesome, man. Thank you so much. So if somebody want to get in touch with you personally, they want to do business with you, I know they could go to your website, or they have a lot of abundance they want to send your way. What's the best way to reach you?
Yeah, you can follow me at Dannesh Kassamali on Instagram. And that's a good way to keep up with my daily stories and reach out to me if you have any questions. And then the motivation side of things. And I do post company product updates as well there. So my personal Instagram is public and it says Mr. Silky on my bio. So that and the Silky Socks Instagram we're there every day. So those two places.
That's awesome, man. Anything I missed that you want to put out there?
No, I think we did a good job. I just want to add that, thank you for having me. It's always fun to tell the story and talk about the journey and let these feelings out with someone like you who's a fellow entrepreneur, business owner. So I have fun doing this, man. So thank you for having me.
Awesome, man. Hey, Dannesh, thank you so much for coming to Talking Business with me.
Peace.
You've been listening to Talking Business Podcast, hosted by Gavin. Share and tell your entrepreneur and side hustler friends about this podcast. Talk to you soon.